I'm very fortunate to welcome someone who's been part of the conversation for, going on. Jesse, how long have you been part of the Spinners anyway?
It'll be 19 years this November, with the show that they know and love from the guys that they can't wait to see, and we can't wait to see them. So, yeah, it's going to be totally Spinners when we get there.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to bring officially Jesse Peck to the program today. He is obviously not the soprano of the group. He's the bass voice, and you can hear it in there. Has been in the band for nearly 2 decades now and can deliver all the great songs that you've come to know. The cool thing about you being in the band is who picked you to be in your slot?
Bobby Smith and Henry Fambro, 2 original Spinners.
Yeah. I mean,
when their comrade Bertha had passed on, they were the 2 gentlemen who decided, we want you to be our brother. We want you to be, the new Spinner. And it was an honor. It still is.
Do you remember that day?
Yes, I do. It was a long time waiting. It was, initially they told me it would just be a couple of weeks, before they made up their mind as to who the new Spinner, the new bass singer would be. That turned into 3 long and grueling months. So
wow.
By the time Henry finally called, I answered the phone, and I was as professional as I could possibly be. But I tell you, when he hung up the phone, when he and Bobby said, "We'll meet us tomorrow at such and such a time, and we'll go over everything from there," I said, "Thank you very much, and I appreciate the opportunity." I hung the phone up. I just collapsed right there on the floor. I shouted hallelujah probably 100 times.
That's wild.
And I still have that same joy that I'm actually a part of the legendary Spinners R&B group. It's a wonderful life.
Jesse, before you became a Spinner, what were you doing at that time?
Wow. Well, actually, I was working at Ford Motor Company at the time, not as a Ford employee, but as a temp, making way less than everyone else that was an actual Ford employee. And I had gotten wind of the passing of Purvis, the original bass singer, Mr. 1245, which, of course, was a sad thing. And the same person that called to tell me the bad news also let me know that, hey, they're going to do auditions. We'll see if we can get you an audition into the group. This was Henry Williams, a friend of mine. We drove to and from work. It was an hour drive or more each day in good weather. Winter made it even worse. Shout out to Henry Williams. Shout out to Nat Burgess, the manager at the time of the Spinners, who had been with them since his days as a William Morris agent. And again, love to Henry and Bobby for actually bringing me in and welcoming me to the Spinners and calling me brother.
It's tight. It sounds amazing. It's the Spinners, and it's this Friday at the Music Hall in Portsmouth, a historic venue dating back to the 1800s. I'm speaking with Jesse Peck, who's the bass voice of the Spinners. And when you've been part of a history of a band like this, like you have for the last couple of decades, I'm sure that people tell you stories every single night of what Spinners music meant to them. How much of it is just listening to what they have to say and being inspired by those stories?
Actually, every story is still inspiring 18 years later. It's still wonderful that people still stop and have to tell about their first heartbreak or the first time they fell in love or our kids were conceived to your music. Yeah, we hear all kinds of things. It's always wonderful to hear. It's good to know that you're a part of something that has touched the lives of so many people and in such a wonderful way.
Because you get to help revive those memories, and whether they're happy memories like children conceived or marriage, or overcoming different things in life as well. I'm sure those are inspiring, and that's something that you've also branched into when it comes to the Jesse Peck Show. Can you tell us about that?
Well, that's something that I've always wanted to do, have my own television show where I have not just artists and entertainers and actors on, but people who can make a difference in the lives of others. I got to get back to the Spinner concert. You had touched on something about going back in time. Yeah, that's exactly what our concert's like. Each and every time we perform, it's a walk, not even a walk. It's a trot. It's a jog down memory lane, and the fans oftentimes are dancing in the aisles. They're all out of their seats and having fun. It's like we're all teenagers again. That's the Spinners experience when you come to our concerts.
What is the highlight for you when you look out into the audience? I know you can't generally see until the house lights come up, but is there one point that you're like, okay, this is the moment This is what I've been looking forward to all day.
Oh, boy, there are several highlights. The first being when we first walk out onto the stage, when our band, under the direction of Keith Ferguson, at the Spinners Ensemble, plays the intro. And he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Spinners," and the crowd just ignites. It's wonderful to receive such a warm welcome. And just song after song, they're just instantly into the show. I mean, with no warm-up, they're ready to go. Our lead singer has a habit of getting lost in the audience. We'll look around, and he's no longer on stage. He's out in the crowd, and he's dancing and singing with the audience members. This guy may end up in the balcony. That's another highlight of the show. When we sing Rubber Band Man, and we link up the rubber bands, and the entire theater goes black, and the strobe light comes on, and it's the 70s all over again, and the Spinners are there on stage with our rubber bands dancing and stretching, and the crowd just igniting. There are so many highlights.
Jesse Peck is my guest. He is going to be part of the Spinner Show. He's in the Spinners. It's going to be Friday night at the Music Hall in Portsmouth. Jesse, considering how your life started out, being influenced by the Spinners, could you have imagined that you would be on stage as part of that legacy?
No. I always knew that I was destined for great things, though it came late in life. But I had no idea that when I sat at my first concert at the Michigan State Fair with my mom and dad and my brother and sister, watching the Spinners, and the moment that I said, "Mom and Dad, that's what I want to do when I grow up." No, I had no idea, Andy, that I would end up in that very same group.
What a story. And you get to celebrate the legacy with us on Friday night at the Music Hall in Portsmouth. Jesse, it's been a fantastic conversation. I can't wait. I'm pumped for it. We're going to have a pair of tickets to give away in the next 15 minutes. So make sure you hang around for your chance to win tickets to the Spinners.
It's going to be an awesome time, Andy.